Hi everybody, today we're going to be discussing a microlearning example specifically for patient education. Now, typically on these videos, I'll walk through an actual microlearning unit that we created, but on this specific video, we're going to be discussing the platform because it actually matters a lot more in terms of the audience as well as the learning experience goals. Just a little bit about myself. My name's Eric Prospero. I'm a microlearning expert with the Ninjas, so let's jump right into it. So just for context, we partnered with Mason City Clinic out of Iowa to develop an engaging patient experience. Now, the reason why they needed this is because the orthopedics department had a requirement for preoperative education. Preoperative education has proven to be a lot more effective in terms of improving recovering time, as well as reducing the dependency on opioids. So massive impact, especially in today's environment. The challenge they had was at the time, their current form of preoperative education was having patients, making them required to show up to in-person training. Now, this specific hospital is in a unique spot of Iowa that's quite rural, so it was a burden for the patients. Not only that, there's also a nursing shortage, generally speaking, so it's difficult to dedicate resources for this, and it just costs money in terms of general healthcare administration. So they partnered with Dr. Gibbons, one of their orthopedic surgeons, to create an immersive patient experience delivered through their cell phone. I'm going to show you a screen share of what that looks like, but it's quite effective. Now, when you're considering orthopedic patients, you typically have two types, right? There's the geriatric patients somebody who's getting their hip replaced, a knee replaced, or the athletes. So the audience is quite diverse, but with that being said, it was absolutely critical to design for the older audience, because if they weren't using this was the majority of the population, it wouldn't be a functional asset. So we needed to make an engaging user experience. And you can do that two ways. There's the delivery of the content, right? The medium, it can be either a video, it can be a script. In the past, what they've been doing was just handing out paperwork or making you show up to an in-person seminar. We decided to go with the video because with a non-captive audience, video is a simpler user experience. All you have to do is press play. If you make it relatively short, you have higher finish rates, and the knowledge is presented in a very familiar format. The other option is how does the content get to the patient? And that's where we actually leveraged a really cool platform they partnered with us to build. The first thing I'm going to be showing you today is the actual platform. Now, part of this was automated. A patient was booked for a surgery, and it automatically was synced up to the type of surgery, so they immediately received the preoperative education videos. Now, I'll walk you through what that experience looks like, but the other part of this was it allowed the doctors and nurses to actually assign content based off their procedure, which was kind of cool. So let me show you what that looks like. So simply put, once a doctor or nurse was signed in, they would decide to assign a task, which is a single video or a survey or a learning element, or an instruction set, which could be a series of videos or surveys or learning elements. The first thing they're going to do is choose the patient. I'm going to choose myself. They also had the option to send it to caretakers as well. They would choose the provider, the procedure, the due date, when it expired. And what's great about this is this platform allowed them to customize the learning experience per patient based off the nuances and proclivities of the doctor and patient. So they can easily choose the nuances of the type of educational videos that they wanted to assign. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but some doctors are picky about how they do things. And then they hit send a patient. And what's great about this is within seconds, I receive a message that says, Dr. Gibbons has assigned you your shoulder arthroscopy. content for, actually I'm not getting the reading right, but Dr. Gibbons has assigned you your shoulder arthroscopy content as part of your care plan. This video will help ensure that you have all the information that you need to recover successfully. Please watch it now. I don't have to log into a platform. There's no portal. I just hit press play, and there's a video on my phone ready to go. And what's great about this too is you'll actually see that this tracks whether if I watched it or not. Now that was the delivery mechanism. That's actually how the videos were received. Let me actually show you one of the videos. Now keep in mind that with healthcare education, you can use actors, you can use advanced 3D. There's a lot of production value you can be adding. With that being said, we decided to go with a very simple route. Remember, 90% of our population is geriatric. We wanted to make sure it was something that they were comfortable with, that had a relatively familiar feeling and a shorter pace. So let me press play and you can watch the video, then we can talk through how we created it.
Do not take any chances of falling or breaking open your wound. Getting in and out of bed. To get into bed, you follow the same procedure that you do for sitting down in a chair. Once seated on the edge of the bed, you elevate your operative side into the bed first, followed by the non-operative side, and then lie down. To get out of bed, you follow the same procedure, once again in reverse. Good leg out first, followed by the operative side.
So as you can tell, we decided to go with a relatively simple approach. There's a lot more things we can be doing. However, we really wanted to design for accessibility. When I say accessibility, we wanted to write the scripts at a very simple reading level. We needed the visuals to be essentially very minimalist and to appeal to an older audience. And lastly, we wanted the way the videos were received to be very easy. We did not expect a 75-year-old patient to pull out their phone and log into a portal or download an app. So we created a learning experience that was simply one click away, right? They open up their messages and they press play. And that's really the approach here. So some quick tips that you guys could follow for this type of video are, when designing videos like this, it's essential to remember your audience. Here at Tropic, we actually have a lot of firepower in terms of creative ability. We can make things interactive, immersive, we can do things in 3D, but we had to remember the audience. With geriatric patients, we're dealing with an audience that is not necessarily excited about technology. They want a simple learning experience, right? They wanted something that they can easily press play with, and that's what we gave to them. So instead of going for a lot of flash, we wanted to design these to be accessible. Accessible in terms of a reading level. We wrote the scripts at a 5th grade reading level. And lastly, accessible in terms of design. We made sure that the videos were slow to follow, but short in terms of content. What's great about this was we won a Brandon Hall Award, gold for customer training, even though it's patient education. Some of the key results that we tied to this were over 90% of patients reported reduced anxiety because of the training, and over 95 of them said it provided a better patient experience. There's not a lot of post metrics to follow in the patient space because you have to wait a sufficient amount of time to see if the videos actually impacted outcomes. But with that being said, this type of survey that was integrated to the system was a lot of good data that the doctors were excited about. And lastly, it made their training way more efficient. We no longer had nurses that were spending time with doctors and patients going through a lot of the things that could have simply been watched on a video at home in the comfort of their house. So thank you guys for this video. We're going to be posting other content tied to the platform, so make sure to subscribe and have a great day. Cheers.
If you want to continue learning about microlearning best practices, be sure to subscribe to our channel, the Microlearning Lab by Tropic. We'll keep sharing the latest tips, tricks, and techniques to help you get the most out of your training programs.